Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. Levski and 4.4 have just gone to Wave 1 PTUs, which means there's no ND on it. And so I can give you my quick guide to it. As I'm calling up my ship, let me go through the inventory of floors here. We have 4 docking ports, 16 external cargo bays, we'll get to them a little bit later, and six external loading platforms. We'll start by showing all of those things from the outside. Now, I am doing this somewhat extemporaneously. I edited out the footage a little bit, but for the most part, I'm just narrating along the footage I just recorded a few moments ago. And I'm not going to try to be talking all the time because I want you also to get a feel for the sights and the sounds and the flavor of Levski as I'm doing it. I'm going to get into my L21 Wolf here, and we'll exit and just take a look at all these spaces that I talked about from the outside of the facility. Get you an idea of the whole scope of Levski, which is built into this asteroid called Delamar. Now, across what you might call the top of Levski is this linear structure that runs on both sides of what's called the borehole, the central mining shaft. And alongside of one or other side of this long, narrow structure is where all of the hangars are and where all of the landing pads are, which we'll get to in a little moment. As I said, there's also 4 docking ports. And as I spin around here, you'll actually see one of the docking ports in use. This Idris here is landing at one of the docking ports. You can see that the docking ports are on tall towers, 4 of them around the borehole itself. And then, as you see, I went up on one side of the borehole. On the opposite side of the borehole I came up on, this wall on the side of the borehole is Levski. You'll also see that there are a whole bunch of little circular holes around the top edge of the borehole, and these contain small and medium hangars. But this wall with the crane coming out from it, that's Levski. And Levski is built from the top down. So up at the top, you've got what they call level 0. And then below that is sublevel 1, sublevel 2, sublevel 3. And these 4 layers together make up Levski. And we'll be going through each one of them as we proceed. You'll see these slats and small windows. Those are see-through, so if someone inside Levski was looking out, they would be seeing my L21 Wolf right now. And if I got close enough to everyone EVA, I'd actually be able to look in and see them. The big boom out here is a mining operation, and we do not, and I've never seen it actually function to do anything, but it's there as a prop and an orienting device. So again, 4 levels to Levski. The surface level, sublevel 1, which is going to be your primary one for hangars, Habs, and medical. Sublevel 2, which is going to be your primary one for commerce. And sublevel 3, which we'll get to, is the main level for refining. Levski has both a cargo center and a refinery deck. Now, this large hangar here is not from the user standpoint, functional. Inside of it is where Teach's ship shop is. And that is available through an elevator. As you remember from the start, that was the first item on the internal elevator's list of stops. Now I'm going to come across from Teach's, and what we see here is one of the larger of the external landing pads. And as you see, this external landing pad, this is a 600i on top of it, which is a pretty large ship. And it fits easily. And as you see, there's a very large freight elevator to it as well. So we'll be able to do a lot of things with transloading of ships and loading and unloading without having to use a hangar. all of these external hangars here we see two more of them that share each have their own freight elevator but share a passenger elevator between them. So each of these has full gravity, and so if you want to do gathering a bunch of ships to load into a Polaris or such, it's all here, and the whole of Levski is EVA-able. A little later I'll be floating around between and around all of these, and even down over the edge of the borehole. So there's quite a bit of magnificent sound and scope and scale to Levski. We're coming around again. There's Teach's ship shop underneath that large hangar door to our left. And I'm going to land. I'm going to show where the elevator is, as well as show the fact that all of these platforms, in addition to being EVA-able, there is a set of a network, frankly, of catwalks that you can walk from any one of them to any other one. As you can see, we can fit, this is one of the smaller of them, we're still fitting several small ships on it. And if I look to my left here, down underneath this is the entrance from level 0 to the EVA. They built there to the rest of Levski, all these platforms and stuff. A little bit of desync here. If you look carefully, you could see the Levski mural, where we'll be in just a few moments. Let me land here. So this is a pair of the smaller landing pads, and between them, down this catwalk, you can see the passenger elevator that takes you to anywhere else in the facility. But I'm instead going to go to the other end of the platform, and we're going to walk around on the network of catwalks. Just to give you, as you can see down at the far end there, is the entrance airlocks with the large spray-painted Levski welcoming mural. There you can see the mural. And again, I could right now EVA like this guy is to get to it, but I'm going to run around the outside, which is almost as fast. And there's a good old-fashioned two-door airlock. And as we exit the airlock, we are in level 0 of Levski, even though it's the topmost level, but it's called level 0. Now, at the far end, to the right, as I'm facing the transit elevators, what they call Central Lift People Mover, if I go to the left, there's some doors that are blocked off. But if I go to the right, there is the Cargo Center. So the Cargo Center is on the uppermost level of Levski, level 0. And there's a cargo shop terminals to the left and a well-equipped cargo store. Here's, you can pick up your cruise lux. Now, the way these two lifts work, they work very much like the subways or the people movers on other things. One of them, as I said, we're at level 0 here. One of them is going from level 0 to level -1 to level -2 to level -3 to level, and then all the way back up to 0. The other is basically taking the same loop in what you might term the counterclockwise fashion, from 1 down to 3 and then back up to 2 to 1. So I've gone down 1 level, and now we are at level -1. And this you might consider sublevel 1, and this you might consider the main level. If you have gotten your Habs here, this is where the Habs are. This is where the medical is. This is where the ship terminals are, and we're looking through here, what they call the checkpoint. But here is where all the ship terminals are. This should look similar but familiar to other space stations and landing zones. It'll also look very familiar if you remember the old Levski that orbited Stanton. Here's the other of the 2 loops, and here is Home and Hearth. This is the name of the Habs at Levski. So if you've arrived here and this isn't your home city, that's where you'll be spawning. Mercy Hospital down this corridor is messier than your typical Stanton Hospital, but neater than your typical Pyro Hospital. There's a large, spacious, well-organized lobby here, if a bit gritty. Windows out. And then at the far corner from where you come in are the elevators to the various treatment floors. Here's the elevators to the treatment floors. And here's the exit way out. Or actually also the way we came in. Now, what's interesting is that they do have a item on the directory for Alliance residences, but I did not see any entrance to Alliance residences, which means that CIG master planned this to have something larger than Habs also available. And so Levski's at least pre-planned to have more apartment-like residences as well, but in addition to the Habs. Now we've gone down 1 more floor, and if we turn to the right, this is going to, or to the left, there is a network of tunnels here and operations areas. Currently, there is not much for users to do there other than to go spelunking. But the main feature of this level is the Grand Barter, which is directly below where the customs were. You do this zigzag, and there's a lot of little shops doing little things, but there's 3 main commerce areas. The first one is up and to the left. Conscientious Objects. That is a gun store, guns and weapons. Also, you can see very far at the other end, down lower, is Corderies, which is armor. But there's lots of other places here that sell clothes and food and other miscellaneous items and necessities. Also, a little bit up or down, and at the far end from where we come in, is Cafe Musain, which is Levski's main restaurant area. Now we'll take a look at Corderies. As I said, it contains armor and other worn equipment. And here's a look through some of the little shops on the lower level. There's a road up to Cafe Musain, so you can enter it either from the upper or the lower areas of the Grand Barter.
Are we getting by?
Let me know if you change your mind.
I'm trying to view a solution.
A lot of interesting sounds and artwork here. So now we're back in the main lobby area. And now we're going to go down 1 more level to sublevel 3. And pretty quickly it's obvious that we are on the refinery level here. Nice overview, perhaps not as large and complicated as some of the Lagrange point stations in Stanton, but still, it is a refinery station all the same, and has all the things that we would expect from a refinery station. If we come down and to the right here, we have the refinery shop that sells equipment, mining heads, gadgets, modules. We have ore sales, where you can buy ore, where you can sell ore directly without refining. And then these 4 terminals here, just across from ore sales, is where you can do refining jobs. Now, a couple things you will find interesting here is that, unlike earlier during Evo, they are accepting 2 new minerals, torite and lindinium. And these two, when I went out mining, these 2 minerals are in great abundance in the asteroids around Levski. Also, they do not appear, at least unless CIG has added them, they do not appear to be in any other asteroid belt or planet that is currently in the verse. So, depending on what the demand and prices for them are, this will probably be one of the main occupations in Levski. Now we're here at the at one of the cargo decks. As I said, the elevator took us straight to here. A little turn to the left, we have a small platform with the cargo elevator, and then this large platform here is where the cargo will be coming up. Now, where is this? You see, we're on a long tower here. You can see the numbers of the various external platforms here on this tower. So half of them are on one tower on one side, and half of them on the other side. And as you see, we are at the opposite end of the borehole from where the rest of Levski was, right where we started this video, where all of the platforms and all of the hangars and all of Levski is at the opposite end of the borehole from where these external freight elevators are. And the intent is that you can just pull your ship up to these and unload from it onto it. They're not that far apart, so it might get rather crowded. It could be some, so to speak, elbows bumping. And as I'm going to EVA actually up towards the top of the borehole, I'm not going to actually make you sit through all of it, but you will notice as I look up, there is a hole in the side of the borehole. And this takes you to some other internal caverns that split, and there are 2 exits to the, what you might call the top of Levski, and 1 entrance to the top of Levski, and 2 entrances towards the bottom. So that's kind of an area you could try out your close quarters flying in. So that's a quick tour of Levski. One thing that's worth noting, on the sublevel 01, opposite of where the hospital is, in other words, to the left of, if you're facing the elevators, you'll see the marked entrances of the municipal services with guards, shooing you away. But we know from CitizenCon that those doors will eventually lead to a instanced PvE area where we're allowed to do missions. And so that the hooks, or at least the entrance for that, is already in Levski. So as I continue to float up the borehole here and see people being much too reckless about trying to drive through it, I'll point out that we still have our giveaways. We have the giveaway coming up at the IAE for a Starlancer Max. That's been collecting entries all through the year. As well as this video will also qualify for next year's Invictus Launch Week giveaway, which I haven't yet decided on the reward for. Probably will do so actually during the ILW, but this video will be qualifying for it. 1 entry per video for all my giveaways. Be a member and you're entered automatically. Otherwise, subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is what is in the extra large hangar right next to the main part of Levski. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel Raymond with Ray's Guide.